Dusty, dirty, and well traveled, but it was worth it.
We finally found a spot. We're in the we're southeast of Ely, Nevada.
On highway, just off Highway 6 in the Humboldt National Forest.
Yeah, we stopped earlier along this road, and it wasn't quite right.
But let us show you the spot we found, because this is pretty darn nice, especially for National Forest.
Yeah, it was a good thing we kept on driving.
Yeah. Well, we're at about 6,500 feet here, elevation. Last night, or the last 2 nights, we've been camped at 7,300 feet, and it's been fine. A little chilly in the morning, but that feels good too. Look at this spot though. It's got a picnic table, fire pit. The best part is just beyond the fire pit here, there is a really nice stream here. So we're not going to have any trouble at all getting water. And that's pretty unusual for Nevada. So we're happy to find this place. I think we're going to stay here for a while and just kind of explore from here. We'll take you on some hikes. We'll go exploring up in the hills here. We'll look around, see what's around. It's pretty nice because we've got plenty of solar, and then down in the trees we've got plenty of shade. It's going to work out just great. And we were hoping to find a spot where we could spend like a week, and I think this will do. Linda's already off exploring somewhere. We haven't even set up camp yet. She was just really eager to get out, start poking around. So she left me in the dust. But that's okay. I'm going to go set up the Starlink and check inside the trailer, make sure nothing got rolled around. The road coming in here wasn't bad. It was pretty good. There's an electrical wire there hanging down from the front of the hitch. Looks like the straps are broken. I better fix it. Doesn't look like fun, but it is necessary. Well, that's better. This drill is a hammer drill, and I've been carrying it for about a year now. It's about on Amazon. It had pretty good ratings, you know, better than the rest. It's called an Abeden, A-B-E-D-E-N. And the reason I bought it was to put in lag bolts for tent stakes in the ground, you know, for our clam shelter. And it just hammers them right in. But I've also used it on, you know, doing repair on the trailer and everything. If I can find a link for it, I'll put it in the video description down below. I thought I'd do just a little short segment here and show you all what I did this morning in researching to find this spot. One way is just to go out and drive the roads and hope for the best. But with today's modern technology, you can get on Google Earth, and which is what I did. And also the Bureau of Land Management has an app that I also use. So let me show them to you, and let me show you what it looked like. First of all, this morning I got on the Play Store and I was looking for publiclands.org, which is the app that Linda has that is very good, publiclands.org. But I couldn't find it on the Play Store anymore, and it seems to have been replaced by this one, just called Public Lands. And it's basically for the western part of the United States. And I just got into the Nevada section and I scrolled into where I was. And let me show you what it looks like. Hold on. Okay, right here is Ely, Nevada. And all the yellow around here is BLM. And this white area right here is National Forest. So basically I got on Google Earth, and there's more BLM coming up here and more National Forest. And I started perusing the roads in this particular area and looking for places to camp. I'll show you what it looks like. Up here is Ely, Nevada, and I wanted to camp somewhere down in this area. So I started scrolling in and just chasing out the roads. But right here is a green National Forest boundary line. So I knew that on this side was National Forest. And I did see some campgrounds up here, but I didn't want to camp in a campground this time. So I scrolled in really close and I started following the road. There we're crossing into National Forest right here. And then look here. See the pullout right here off the road? If you look real careful, you can see there's a nice campsite down here, right along the stream, right here. Well, I went ahead and I marked several of these this morning so that when Linda and I came out here, we would have an idea of where to go and look. And we did stop in one, and then it was kind of wide open, and I thought, well, if we go up a little higher, we'll get into the junipers. And see, right here is a campground marked with the green teepee right here. So if you wanted to go to a regular campground, you could. And it's just got pit toilets and probably picnic tables and fire rings, and national forest, that's going to be about it. But we ended up in this one right here. Right there. Right here is where we're parked right now while I'm making this video. And it's a beautiful spot, but that's how we found it. So I thought you might like to see that. Our main mode of finding places is just to drive roads and look. Like we have to know that we're on BLM land or know that we're in national forest land and just look for pullouts. We do that a lot. And it's just fun, just the anticipation of looking for a spot. This morning, however, I had extra time and I just sat down and got online and did this. And this made it a lot easier on us, really, you know, because we don't have the gas to burn, right? Can't just be out driving up roads and turning around and coming back out again. We need more of a sure thing, and this was. Anyways, that's how we did it. So basically, in a nutshell, though, was the first app I showed you on my phone shows me if it's BLM or national forest. Whereas Google Earth doesn't show all that so much. It does show you the national forest boundary, but it does not show BLM on Google Earth. So the app that I showed you from the Bureau of Land Management does. Now the boundary lines are not exact, and it's also to have private land within those areas. So you have to be aware of that. Look for no trespassing signs. Don't camp in somebody's front yard just because it's on BLM land. They probably wouldn't like that. Anyways, there you go. Well, it's about 5 in the evening and we're feeling kind of lazy, and we thought we better just get the blood circulating a little bit. So we're going to go explore some. And isn't it beautiful? Just a really nice evening. I can't help but wonder if there's fish in this beautiful stream. I know that if this was Montana, the answer would be a resounding yes. And here's a big deep hole right here in front of me. I can't see bottom. And I know that if I was going to catch a fish, this is where I'd be trying. There's an ancient tool. I walk along looking into the sun and you can see them glint because they shine compared to the other rocks. This is an old knife. Well, an old cutting tool of some kind. Could be 1,000 years old. Could be 10,000 years old. You just don't know. You just know that it's old. And by the way, it's still sharp. Now the ground around our camp is just littered with flakes from tool making. Like this one. This is just a flake. But still, you know what that tells you? People say, oh, the flakes don't mean anything. You got to find an arrowhead. Well, number one, I can't keep arrowheads down here because this is public land. But number two, and even more important, is flakes tell a story. They say that the Native Americans also loved this area and they spent a lot of time here. They probably lived down here. This is a nice place, especially with this river running through here. This was probably home a long time ago. I think these Indians were the Paiutes, and I don't know who was here before them. Little tiny knife, or a little tiny cutting tool. Once again, they would just carry several of these probably, because you find them everywhere. This is a finished tool. And they probably had a big one and a little one and a really sharp one and maybe one that's not so sharp for scraping. See, it's sharpened all the way around the edges. Cool, huh? Don't you wish you could talk to the man that made this? You know, for one thing, they were very intelligent. And if you could just speak the language, imagine the conversation you could have. And here's signs of an old camp. These cans here, probably from the 1920s, 1930s. Well, Linda's down below me here somewhere. I better go find her.
I found an artifact.
You got a tin can there, huh?
Yeah. It's a small can. It's bigger than the exchange juice cans.
That's like a tomato paste can. That's the size of it anyway. Could be a juice can or something. Don't you wish you knew? Now you see what I mean about some of them being very tiny? This is sharpened all the way around the edges. Which is
perfect for...
maybe for a lady or a child. From what I saw, archaeologists don't know what to call them. They just call them tools. But I kind of think that they're more like the Swiss Army knife of the day. Well, there's three main reasons why Linda and I carry sticks. One, of course, is for balance. One, of course, is for snakes, because we always tap ahead and tap on logs and things like that before we go by them, just in case, you know, just to encourage a snake to rattle. But the other reason, the thing I use it for all the time, is so I don't have to bend over and look at stuff. I can kind of turn it over gently with the tip of my stick and see what it is. And most of the time it saves me from bending over for nothing. Or if it looks interesting, then I'll bend over and see what it is. Oh, this one looks interesting. Yeah. It's another one that's been sharpened around the edges. Bigger though, you know, about 50-cent size. This bugger is sharp. See, it's been flaked all around the edges to make a nice little cutting tool. Cool. What's this one? You know, for a long time I didn't know what these were. They're sharpened around the edges like that, all around the edges, and then they're flat on the bottom. And then I went to I think it's called the Native American Cultural Center in Cortez, Colorado, and they had drawers full of these. They said they were planes, you know, for planing off the wood like this, you know, for making arrow shafts. That's what that is. It's a plane.
We just got back from our nice evening walk. I took some pictures and Rick did his usual walk and talk. And we didn't expect it to be that nice, but boy, it was pretty cool.
Oh, the early morning light is so beautiful. Let me step into the shadow here. I looked out the window this morning and I jumped out of bed just to be out here. It's so pretty. You can hear the birds chirping. It's just nice. It's about 50 degrees. I just wanted to go for a short walk here before I head back to the trailer and make some coffee. You know, as I walk along here, I was thinking about where is my favorite place to be of the western states. You know, like, what is it? Is it Montana? Is it Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Arizona? And it's almost impossible to say. But I can tell you that I do love being able to walk through the Pinyon Pine Forest in Nevada. You know, the reason is that history is just laying on the ground here. Things don't get buried in humus like they do in Montana. Like in Montana, you can walk through the woods, but you're never going to hardly find anything. And here you can see signs of man's existence going back thousands of years, and it's still laying on the surface. I just think that's so interesting, but that's just me personally. It's just the way I am. I like to come out here and walk and look on the ground and see what I find and think about who was here before me. I love that. And I can't help but wonder what they were like and, you know, what their lives were like. It just interests me no end. Now granted, Arizona's like that too. I love southern Utah, and I love northwestern Colorado. I like being up there. It's all just, I just hope you guys can make it out. Do the same thing, go for walks in these cedar forests here. I think you'd like it. I know it's not for everybody, but just the smell in the air here is just fantastic. A Blackfeet Native American friend of mine, we call him Jaybird, he mentioned to me that the Blackfeet used wild rose to make arrow shafts. And I find that really interesting because not only did I find these two plains here, but the area is absolutely thick in wild rose. Now I'll be putting both of these back, but not where cars drive or cattle can tramp on them. But before I put them back, I want to show you something. Well, I cut this piece of wild rose, and you can see, man, it is covered in thorns. But you know, I got these two planes here, and you typically find them with a roundish kind of notch cut out, and that's what it's for, is doing things like this. Here you go. Now with the sun on that side.
So he's shaving off the outer bark or skin of the wild rose stick that he got.
Using a plane that's could be, well, it's at least hundreds of years old, maybe thousands of years old. Here's another one. This is the first one I picked up. Oh, look at that one, boy. It's just really, it's still really sharp. So the thing comes to mind here, if I was to leave my Stanley block plane laying on the ground for 1,000 years,
it would be all rusty and not good.
And look how sharp this is. This is an ancient tool. Look at this. How you like that? Now the Native Americans would have taken this stem or this wild rose here, and they would have straightened it. First they would have dried it out. After they did this, they would have dried it out. Then they would have straightened it over a fire and made it perfectly straight to make an arrow shaft.
Didn't they have a tool too to help straighten it?
Yeah, and that was another stone that they made a hole in the middle of it, and they would use that to bend the shaft itself to make it straight. Isn't that something?
That's pretty cool. Let's see that. Hold it up against there for a little bit. Yeah.
It's just all sharp around the edges. You just pick the side that you want to work with, you know. And they're fairly flat on the bottom and kind of turtle shaped. I'm using the rounded part, which was designed just for this. But you see what I mean? I just wanted to demonstrate that to you, using a couple of ancient tools.
So those old guys knew their stuff.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And this stuff still works.
Okay.
I'm going to go put these back where I found them, except where they're not getting run over by cars or trampled by cattle. So you going to finish off that arrow shaft?
Yes, sirree, Bob.
That's tough stuff, isn't it?
It is, and it's amazing how relatively straight it is. You can see how it would make a nice arrow shaft.
Yeah, it'd be relatively easy to straighten that out over a fire. Mm-hmm. So I guess our Blackfoot friend is correct?
Yeah.
Well, he ought to know.
Yeah. Thanks, Jaybird.
They used a lot of arrows back in the day. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did,
Please subscribe. Subscribe.
yeah, a small percentage, it's just a small percentage of our viewers that are actually subscribed, but it really would help us out.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
And share the videos with your friends so they subscribe too.
Sorry, Linda. Yeah, and also hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes up.
Yeah. And we also put a video out every Friday. So
Stay tuned for the next one.
right.
See you around.